Hi, my name is Sherry Robbins, and I'm one of the therapists at the Center for Family Transformation. In light of the COVID-19 pandemic and the stay-at-home order, life has completely changed for all of us. We are now providing teletherapy only for the first time ever. We are at home. We are connecting with our clients through the internet and through the telephone. And we also are supporting and resourcing you online through blogs and through videos that we want to bring you to resource you. Today, I want to resource you all on connecting in marriage during this time. We're all stuck at home for the most part. We're all dealing with things that we never thought we would deal with, as far as not being able to go out when we wanted and having to figure out which stores have toilet paper. All of those new stresses that we never really thought of or faced before. And so today I want to talk about how to connect with each other, maybe in ways that you haven't before, and also how to get through conflict and how to discuss things that are difficult. So first I want to talk a little bit about rituals of connection. There's no better time than to work on rituals of connection when you're stuck at home together. One of the best ways that you can build rituals of connection with each other is to appreciate each other. You can do this in many ways, but I encourage you to take out a time in your day, each day, to share what you appreciate about your spouse, to share with each other. You can do this in a number of ways. Maybe you can even expand on it and just share what you're appreciative for in life general. Maybe you're looking at the world differently. I guarantee you, if you sit down and calm yourself and take some time out, you can find a lot of things to be grateful for. Share them with each other. You can also sit down at dinner with your whole family, whoever it may be, and you can each take turns sharing what you're appreciative for. You can sit and you can journal it and then share it with each other. Share what you wrote to each other. These are all great ways to share appreciation. We know from science that appreciation builds joy, and we all need a little bit more joy right now, don't we? And so by daily practicing appreciation, you will feel closer to each other and you will be building joy. One of the best things that you can do during this time is to practice looking into each other's eyes and building connection that way. We all have mirror neurons in our brain, and our mirror neurons fire when someone else looks at us, and when they look at us with joy, with gladness. And so you can spend a little bit of time each day looking at each other, smiling, and building a greater bond, building a greater sense of joy, and connecting with each other. And strengthening that in a way that maybe you never have before. I encourage you to try it. It might be a little awkward at first, but over time you will notice a difference, because the other person will be glad that someone else is glad to be with them. They will feel a sense of belonging, and there's nothing else really that matters more in this world than to belong to someone else. We all need that. So I encourage you to try some of those things today. As someone who's trained in Gottman marriage therapy techniques, one of the things that I love is some of the card decks that they have. And you can get these card decks in their app, the Gottman card deck app. And you can use some of those to increase connection with each other. I recommend the love maps and the open-ended questions card decks within that app. They're designed to increase your knowledge of your partner's world and you will learn things maybe that you didn't before. We all change, and we all have different things that we like and dislike, and we don't always communicate those. So you'll start to understand your partner a lot better through activities like that. A few other things that you can do are to watch a show, watch a movie, and then afterwards discuss what you liked and what you didn't like about it. Maybe while you're watching it, it made you think of something else, and maybe something from your past or something that you read the other day. Begin to have dialogue together about what's going on in your mind. We don't always share everything that's going on and the thoughts that we have. And sometimes these things that we do together that we aren't necessarily communicating while we're doing them, they can open up an opportunity for communication to happen after. Some other things that you can do are cook dinner together, make a meal together in the kitchen, maybe go outside and have a meal on a blanket, go for a walk. These are all things that we often just rush through life and we forget to do as time goes on. Maybe do a few household projects that have been on the to-do list that you haven't gotten to because you've been so busy. I encourage you to every day try to do a little something together during this time. I also want to talk to you today about experiencing conflict during this time. Oh, this can be tricky. And if your relationship has been rocky for a while, being quarantined together can either make or break that relationship. And the one thing that we do know is that being stuck together can force you to work through some of your issues and can be a blessing in disguise. What we see from people who have a difficult time communicating conflict with each other is that often the person who is wanting to communicate really wants to be heard, understood, and validated. And when we get into trouble with that is usually because the other person is either trying to fix and resolve the problem of their partner that is sharing, or they're trying to get them to see their perspective, see it from another perspective. And usually when we approach communication, conflict, issues in that way, it ends up causing the person who is sharing to feel unheard, unwanted, unappreciated. They feel like their partner doesn't care, and it usually just leaves them stuck in that negative emotion. So here are a few things that you can do to help remedy your partner feeling stuck in a negative emotion and communicating in a way that doesn't escalate things. So when you are the person who is sharing, you never use the word you when you are starting. We often see that have very negative results when we go to another person and we say, you always do this, you did that, you never do this. So you always want to go to your spouse and say something like, when this happened, I felt this way. I felt this emotion. So you want to fill in those blanks. I feel this blank when blank, right? And then you also follow up with, and I need blank. So then expressing a need that you have. And that can be really difficult to share. Often we don't know what we need. We just know what we don't want, right? So really start to think through that. How can you express an emotion that you feel and why you felt it, and then what you need? And on the flip side, if you're the listener, what you need to do is set aside your own agenda and listen with open ears and in a way that is drawing out the feeling that you hear your partner expressing. And to say something like, I heard you say you feel blank when blank happened. And then to say something like, I can see how that would make you feel that way. I can see why that is so important to you. And if you really need to understand them a little bit more, ask some open-ended questions. Ask what they need if they're not able to express that need. Your partner will feel heard and they'll feel understood. Also, one more thing that I want to share is that if you are in a conversation and you notice that maybe your heart's racing, maybe you feel anxiety, and you get into that mode where you're either going to fight, you're going to freeze up, or you're going to want to go somewhere and get away from the situation. That's an indication that you're not in a place that you can actually have a conversation and follow the rules that I had just previously said. In that time, you want to take a 20 to 30 minute break, and you want to maybe just calm yourself down. Do some grounding techniques where you just are sitting in a room somewhere and you are looking at your surroundings and you're paying attention to your five senses, that you're doing some deep breathing, whatever you have that helps you calm down, that's healthy. No escaping and avoiding and doing something mindless, but doing things that are going to calm your body down and get you to a place that you can resume that conversation. And don't have a discussion again until you are calm. I hope these few things are really helpful for you. We want to be here for you. Reach out. If you want to schedule some marriage sessions, we're happy to do that. We have several of us who are trained in Gottman method, marriage therapy, and we want to help you build greater sense of connection with each other. We want to help you learn how to overcome some of the conflict that you've maybe been stuck in. And we want to help you overcome maybe some traumas that have happened in your relationship that you haven't quite healed from yet. But ultimately, we want to be here for you during this time. Whatever stresses are coming up because of the quarantine and anxieties because of maybe some fear that someone in your family is going to get sick. We support you and we care about you, and reach out if you need us. Thank you.